My beloved brothers and sisters, many people prepare for the wedding day, but very few prepare for the marriage itself. We spend months choosing decorations, outfits, and venues. But how much time do we spend understanding the weight of the commitment we are about to make? Marriage is not just about a beautiful day, it's about building a beautiful life together. One that will be filled with tests, growth, learning, forgiveness, and moments of both ease and difficulty. You see, marriage is not just a contract. It's a sacred covenant, a promise before Allah. It's two souls choosing to walk together side by side toward Jannah. This is why choosing the right person is not about temporary attraction, but about lasting compatibility. It's about someone who will help you grow closer to Allah, not someone who only looks good in pictures. We must ask ourselves, do we want a wedding or a lasting union? Because the wedding lasts a few hours, but the marriage may last decades. Will this person help you through sickness, financial struggle, parenting challenges, or emotional lows? These are the realities of life. And marriage is about walking through all of it together, not just dancing through the highlights. Many marriages break because the foundation was never strong. They were built on excitement, on pressure, or on fleeting desires. But a successful marriage is built on understanding, respect, patience, and faith. It's built on the ability to apologize, to listen, to grow. That's why the person you choose matters so deeply. They will be the one next to you in your most vulnerable moments. And my dear brothers and sisters, remember, perfection doesn't exist. We are all flawed, but what we must look for is someone willing to try, someone willing to improve, to support, to be kind. Someone who fears Allah in how they treat you, not just someone who quotes verses but forgets their meaning in daily life. Marriage is not a rescue plan. It is not an escape from loneliness or a solution to all your problems. In fact, it will bring its own tests. But with the right person, even the trials become easier. With the right person, you pray together, cry together, and grow together. It becomes a journey where your faith deepens and your character strengthens. So don't rush into marriage just to please others or check a box. Take your time, reflect, pray, and be honest with yourself. Because when you marry, you are choosing not just a partner, but a future, a home, a path toward Jannah or away from it. May Allah guide every heart toward what is best and grant us righteous spouses who are coolness to our eyes. Ameen. My beloved brothers and sisters, when we talk about choosing a spouse, the Prophet Muhammad gave us a timeless piece of advice. He said, a woman is married for 4 reasons: her wealth, her family status, her beauty, and her religion. Choose the one with religion. May your hands be rubbed with dust, may you prosper. This applies to both men and women. What does this mean? It means that faith must be our first filter, not our last consideration. The outer beauty of a person may capture your eyes, but it is their inner character and connection to Allah that will carry the marriage through stormy days. Looks fade, money can disappear, status can change, but the one who fears Allah, who prays, who avoids harming others, who lives by the values of Islam, this is someone who will treat you with mercy and honor. You see, when faith leads, everything else falls into place. A person who has taqwa, who is God-conscious, won't raise their voice in anger without regret. They won't betray you in secret or disrespect you in front of others. Why? Because they know Allah is watching. That awareness becomes the greatest shield for your heart. Sometimes we ignore this quality and chase superficial traits. We think, he's successful or she's stunning, but what about their character when no one's watching? Do they pray? Do they have higher modesty? Are they honest and truthful? Faith isn't about someone having a beard or wearing a scarf. It's about how deeply their heart is attached to Allah. And faith doesn't mean perfection. It means a commitment to keep improving. Look for someone whose priority is the hereafter. Someone who is concerned with what pleases Allah. Someone who will remind you kindly when you slip and be patient when you grow. That's the kind of love that increases you in goodness and brings barakah into your home. Many couples who choose Deen, first marriages, testify that their relationship has more peace, more trust, and more purpose. Even when difficulties arise, and they always do, both spouses turn to prayer, to patience, and to each other with sincerity. That is the kind of relationship that the Prophet described as a garment for one another. Covering faults, protecting, and comforting. So remember, my dear brothers and sisters, when choosing your spouse, don't just look for someone who completes your worldly dreams. Look for the one who will walk with you to Jannah. A spouse who remembers Allah with you is more valuable than all the luxuries this world can offer. May Allah bless us all with partners who lead us to Him. Ameen. My beloved brothers and sisters, the Prophet Muhammad said, "The best of you are those who are best to their families." This tells us something profound. It is not how a person behaves in public that matters most. It is how they treat those closest to them. You may be impressed by someone's smile outside, but what is their tone like at home? Are they gentle when they're angry? Are they forgiving when hurt? These are the questions that define true character. When it comes to choosing a spouse, good character is absolutely essential. You can live without wealth. You can live without luxury. But you cannot build a peaceful, loving home without akhlaq, good manners. A person who is kind, respectful, honest, and humble is a gift from Allah. And a person who lies, belittles, or abuses others will bring nothing but heart-touch. No matter how charming they may seem on the outside, it's easy to be on your best behavior when everything is going well. But true character shows during hardship. Does this person lash out when they're upset? Do they apologize when they're wrong? Do they blame others or take responsibility? These are traits that you will live with daily. Choose someone who values humility, empathy, and sincerity, not someone who only looks good when things are easy. And character isn't just how they treat you, it's also how they treat those around them. Watch how they behave with waiters, cleaners, elders, children, and even animals. The Prophet was kind to all creation. Someone who is rude to others but sweet to you may only be wearing a mask. But someone who treats everyone with dignity, that's a sign of a genuine heart. One of the biggest mistakes people make is thinking they can fix someone after marriage. My dear brothers and sisters, marriage is not a rehab center. You cannot change someone's nature if they don't want to change. That's why it is better to marry someone with good character from the beginning. Someone who is already working on their faults and improving for the sake of Allah. Good character also means emotional maturity. Can they listen without judgment? Can they resolve conflict without shouting or storming out? Can they forgive without holding grudges? These are the qualities that protect a marriage during difficult times. This is what makes a house a home, not wealth or appearance, but compassion and integrity. So when you are thinking about marriage, remember it's not about perfection, but sincerity. Look for a person who is genuine, who fears Allah in private and public, and who values kindness as a way of life. That is the kind of person who will honor your heart, protect your dignity, and lead a home that pleases Allah. May Allah grant us spouses of noble character. Ameen. My beloved brothers and sisters, when it comes to the matter of marriage, it is one of the most important decisions you will ever make in your life. It affects not only your dunya, but also your akhirah. And so, how can we possibly make such a decision without involving Allah, the knower of the unseen? When you are unsure, confused, or even hopeful, turn to Allah with full trust in His wisdom. The Prophet Muhammad taught us a powerful gift, Salat al-Istikhara, a prayer specifically for seeking guidance. It's not a ritual to guarantee your wish will come true. Rather, it's a humble surrender. Oh Allah, if this is good for me, make it easy. And if it is bad for me, take it away and replace it with what is better. This shows maturity because you are asking not for what you want, but for what Allah knows is best. So many people make decisions based only on what they see or feel. But remember, we see the surface, Allah sees the depths. You may see a beautiful smile, but Allah sees what lies in the heart. You may feel attracted to someone's charm, but Allah knows the future of that relationship. That's why we must never underestimate the power of dua and istikhara. It's not weakness to rely on Allah. It is the strongest and wisest thing you can do. And when you make istikhara, be patient with the signs. It's not always about seeing dreams or magical answers. Sometimes Allah shows you through clarity in your heart. Sometimes He makes the path smooth or blocks it entirely. Trust that whatever unfolds afterward is part of His plan, even if it's not what you expected. The door that closes may be your greatest protection. You must also pour your heart out in dua, supplication. Speak to Allah as you would to someone who deeply cares for you, because He does. Ask Him for someone who will be the coolness of your eyes. Ask Him for a spouse who strengthens your deen and supports your soul. And when things seem confusing, say, "Oh Allah, I leave this to you, for you know, and I do not." At the same time, make sure your own heart is sincere. Sometimes we ask for guidance, but our minds are already made up. True istikhara means being willing to accept whatever Allah decrees, even if it goes against your desires. And know this, if Allah takes something away from you, He will give you something better. It may not come immediately, but it will come at the perfect time. So my dear brothers and sisters, never walk into marriage blindly. And never walk into it alone. Walk into it with Allah beside you. He will never abandon you. The one who consults Allah will never be truly lost. May Allah grant all those seeking marriage the wisdom, patience, and clarity they need. Ameen. My beloved brothers and sisters, emotions are a beautiful part of who we are. Love, attraction, excitement. These are all natural feelings. But when it comes to a decision as serious as marriage, emotions alone are not enough. In fact, when unchecked, they can cloud our judgment and lead us to choices we may regret later. Don't allow feelings to overpower wisdom. Sometimes, people fall in love with someone's appearance, voice, or even their social media presence. But marriage is not a fantasy. It's not a movie or a love story that ends after the wedding. It's a reality that unfolds every single day. And if you've chosen someone only because of beauty or charm, you may find yourself lost when difficulties arise and that outer shine fades. Emotions are fleeting, but character is lasting. That's why the companions of the Prophet would emphasize looking beyond physical traits. They wanted spouses who could carry them through life's storms with patience and strength, not just those who were pleasing to the eye. Of course, attraction matters, but it should never be the only thing you base your decision on. You see, when you're blinded by feelings, You may ignore red flags. You might overlook toxic behavior, justify disrespect, or assume that things will change magically after marriage. But my dear brothers and sisters, marriage doesn't fix problems, it magnifies them. The person you marry will not become different overnight. If there are signs of arrogance, dishonesty, or anger before marriage, those traits will likely continue and sometimes worsen. That's why we must balance our hearts with our minds. Ask yourself, would I still want to be with this person if they lost their wealth, beauty, or health? Can we have meaningful conversations? Can I respect this person when we disagree? These are the questions that reveal the deeper truths of compatibility far beyond emotion or physical appeal. Islam teaches us to make decisions with aqal, intellect, tawakkul, trust in Allah, and shura, consultation. Don't rush. Don't be pressured by culture or society. Take your time. Seek advice from those who care about you, and most importantly, be honest with yourself. You deserve more than a temporary thrill. You deserve a partner who will help you succeed in both dunya and akhirah. So, let your heart feel, but let your soul and your intellect guide the way. May Allah protect us from decisions driven by haste and illusion, and may He guide us towards spouses of substance, sincerity, and stability. Ameen. My beloved brothers and sisters, one of the greatest blessings in life is the guidance of those who genuinely care about us, especially our parents and elders. When making the decision to marry, it's not just about your feelings or thoughts. It's also about seeking the wisdom of people who have experienced insight and, most importantly, your best interest at heart. Many young people today believe that involving parents means losing freedom. But in truth, involving them is a sign of maturity and humility. Your parents or guardians may see things you don't see. They've lived through life's ups and downs. They've seen marriages succeed and fail. And often, they can detect patterns, behaviors, or risks that your emotions might blind you to. At the same time, Islam teaches us to be balanced. Yes, parents should be involved, but their role is not to control your marriage. It's to support and guide you. The Prophet encouraged consultation, but not forced decisions. So if you're in a situation where your parents are being unfair or culturally rigid, seek help from scholars or elders who can mediate with wisdom and compassion. Aside from parents, it's also crucial to involve trusted advisors, people of Deen knowledge and sincerity. These could be teachers, mentors, scholars, or even close friends who know you well. Don't make this decision in isolation. Speak to people who will be honest with you, who will remind you of your values, and who will help you see the bigger picture. Sometimes, when we're emotionally attached, we ignore important signs. That's where an outside perspective becomes vital. Your loved ones can observe behaviors and ask questions you may never think to ask. They can also help you navigate practical matters, family expectations, financial stability, and long-term compatibility. And remember, in Islam, shura's consultation is a sign of strong leadership and character. Even the Prophet would consult his companions in matters of great importance. If the Messenger of Allah found benefit in listening to others, then surely we must do the same, especially in something as sacred and life-changing as marriage. So involve your parents, seek counsel from the wise, and never let pride stop you from asking for help. The path to a blessed marriage is not built on secrecy or rebellion. It's built on trust, transparency, and taqwa. May Allah guide us to seek the right voices and protect us from decisions made in haste or arrogance. Ameen. My beloved brothers and sisters, in a world that glorifies instant results and fast decisions, We often forget that the most meaningful things in life take time. Marriage is one of those things. It is not a race to the altar. It is a journey toward a sacred union. And when something is sacred, you don't rush it. You approach it with care, clarity, and prayer. Too often, we feel pressured by society, family, or even our own emotions to make a quick decision. We worry about our age, our peers getting married, or cultural timelines. But marriage is not a social event. It is a lifelong commitment. A covenant that affects your peace, your future, your children, and your connection with Allah. So if you need time to be sure, take it. Never apologize for wanting clarity. When you rush, you risk overlooking red flags. You might ignore incompatibilities, assume things will work themselves out, or believe that love will magically fix everything. But reality is different. The challenges of marriage require maturity, communication, and patience. And those qualities are built during a thoughtful process, not in a rushed engagement or a hasty decision. Taking your time allows you to ask important questions. It gives you space to observe the other person in different situations. How do they respond to disappointment? How do they treat others? Are they open to feedback? These answers unfold gradually. If you rush, you may miss vital signs that protect your future. And for those who fear they'll lose the opportunity if they don't act fast, remember this: what is meant for you will never miss you. Allah is the best of planners. If something is written for you, no delay, no obstacle, and no hesitation will take it away. But if something is not good for you, no matter how quickly you try to grab it, it will not bring barakah. Even the Prophet Muhammad took his time in decisions of marriage. He considered compatibility, piety, character, and the advice of trusted companions. He showed us that slowing down is not a weakness. It is wisdom. It is how we protect our hearts and honor the institution of marriage. So take your time and take it with gratitude. Reflect, pray, observe, and seek guidance. Don't let the noise of the world rush your soul's most sacred decisions. May Allah give you clarity, patience, and the courage to walk away from what is not right, and the faith to wait for what is truly best. Ameen. My beloved brothers and sisters, when we speak about marriage, we are not just talking about two people coming together. We are talking about two journeys uniting into one. And if those journeys are going in completely different directions, then no matter how much love there is, friction, disappointment, and conflict will follow. This is why it is essential to ask, do we share the same vision of life? And do we value the same path toward Allah? The most powerful foundation in marriage is shared faith. Not just having the same religion on paper, but truly valuing the same Islamic principles in everyday life. Do they prioritize prayer? Do they care about halal and haram? Do they see the Quran as a guide or just a tradition? If your path to Allah is important to you, then your spouse should be someone who helps you on that path, not someone who distracts or detours you. Some people believe they can change the other person after marriage. They assume the spouse will become religious, more serious, or more responsible later. But change is never guaranteed, especially if the motivation doesn't come from within. It is dangerous to marry someone for who you hope they will become rather than accepting who they are right now. Marriage is not a project, it's a partnership. Alongside shared Deen, you also need aligned life goals. Do you want the same kind of future? Do you both see family, work, education, and service through a similar lens? For example, one of you might want to live in a quiet village while the other dreams of a fast-paced city life. One may want 5 children, the other none. These differences are not sins. but they can become serious sources of stress if not discussed early. Even the righteous companions of the Prophet would discuss life goals when considering marriage. They understood that love without alignment leads to frustration. So ask the real questions. How do they handle money? How do they view gender roles, parenting, or conflict resolution? The earlier you explore these topics, the clearer your decision will become. My dear brothers and sisters, don't be afraid to walk away if your values are not aligned. It is better to disappoint someone today than to hurt both of you for a lifetime. Compatibility in Islam is not just about feelings, it's about shared direction. When two people walk together toward Allah, every challenge becomes easier and every joy becomes sweeter. So choose a partner whose heart is also pointed toward Allah. Choose someone who shares your deen and your dreams. That is where true peace lies. May Allah unite us all with spouses who strengthen our faith, support our goals, and bring us closer to Jannah. Ameen. My beloved brothers and sisters, in the world of marriage, one of the most overlooked yet essential qualities to look for is emotional and mental maturity. You see, a person can be older in age, educated, and even religious on the surface. But if they have not developed the emotional stability and self-awareness that marriage demands, life with them can become a constant struggle. Emotional maturity means a person knows how to communicate without shouting, how to disagree without disrespect, and how to stay calm in the face of challenges. It is about being accountable for one's actions, not playing the blame game. A mature spouse admits mistakes, apologizes sincerely, and grows through life's ups and downs rather than reacting like a child to every hardship. Marriage will test your patience. There will be misunderstandings, stress, and emotional moments. If one or both of you lack maturity, even small issues can turn into major conflicts. That's why it is so important to look beyond the surface when choosing a spouse. Don't be deceived by appearances, status, or religious slogans. Look for someone who knows how to handle pressure with wisdom and composure. Mental maturity is equally crucial. It means having the ability to think critically, to reflect deeply, and to make balanced decisions. An immature person may live in denial, avoid responsibility, or expect perfection from you. But someone with mental and spiritual maturity will be realistic, forgiving, and supportive when life doesn't go according to plan. One of the best ways to assess maturity is by observing how a person deals with anger, setbacks, and criticism. Do they become defensive, or do they reflect? Do they control their ego, or are they always trying to win arguments? Pay attention to how they treat their family, friends, and even those they disagree with. These small details reveal the true character of a person more than words ever could. Also, my brothers and sisters, don't forget that emotional maturity includes understanding boundaries. A mature spouse will not guilt, trip you, manipulate you, or invade your personal space. They will support your individuality, respect your feelings, and communicate honestly without games or drama. This emotional safety is essential for a peaceful and loving marriage. So don't rush into marriage simply because someone looks the part. Dig deeper. Ask questions. Observe patterns. And above all, ask Allah for guidance. May He bless us with spouses who are not just good looking or religious by name, but emotionally intelligent, mentally strong, and spiritually mature. Ameen. Pray Istikhara and trust Allah's plan. My beloved brothers and sisters, after all the discussions, observations, and consultations, there comes a point where you must turn to the one who knows what you do not. And that is Allah Al-Alim, the all-knowing. No matter how thorough your search has been, No matter how confident you feel, never make a marital decision without seeking divine guidance through Istikhara. Istikhara is not just a ritual, it's a beautiful act of surrender. You are saying to Allah, "O Allah, you see what I cannot. You know the hidden, the future, the truth behind appearances. If this is good for me in my faith, my life, and my hereafter, make it easy for me. And if it is not, take it away and remove my heart from it." This is not weakness. This is wisdom. It is the strength of a believer who knows that even our hearts are in the control of the Most Merciful. When you pray Istikhara sincerely, you are not looking for dreams or magical signs. You are placing your trust in how Allah unfolds the situation. If things become easy, peaceful, and feel right deep in your soul, it may be a sign of goodness. If roadblocks, discomfort, or doubts persist, then perhaps Allah is redirecting you toward something better, even if you don't understand it yet. Sometimes people become emotionally attached and don't want to accept the signs after Istikhara. They say, "But I love this person," or "I've already made a commitment." But remember, true love starts with loving Allah's plan for you, even when it goes against your initial hopes. Don't cling to someone who Allah is trying to protect you from. What you think is heartbreak now might actually be a doorway to peace later. There is immense peace that comes when you truly let go and trust in Allah's plan. It lifts the weight off your shoulders. You no longer have to fear making the wrong decision because you've handed your affair to the best of planners. Allah will never lead a sincere heart astray, so long as that heart truly submits and seeks guidance. We live in a world where people often say, "Just follow your heart." But the believer says, "Let my heart follow Allah," because our hearts can be impulsive. They can deceive us. But Allah's guidance is perfect. And when you seek His help, you will be amazed by the peace that enters your life, even if the path doesn't look like what you imagined. So, my brothers and sisters, before you sign any papers, before you say yes, before you take the next step, raise your hands in dua, pray Istikhara, and place your trust in the one who knows what is hidden in every soul. May Allah guide all of us to marriages filled with barakah, tranquility, and the light of His mercy. Ameen.